April 4th, 2007, I'd reached the end of my line. Having hit a roadblock in the case, I tied up all of my loose ends. My partner, having suffered from homesickness, had left me to face the last end by my lonesome. Question is the kitty gonna get to play or lose one of his 9 lives? It was a case of 2 missing girls. All means point inwards, towards the system they were part of, a system made to protect and serve them.
Detective, welcome.
Mighty fine place here, Green. Towers over you like a castle.
Well, I suppose that makes me its king. Hey, old chap?
Right. Just here to ask a few questions. 5 or 10 minutes, all I need.
Why, of course. Never has there been a stronger ambassador for your kind's work than I. Now, come, old chap. I'd
advise that the goods remain untouched while I'm here. If you kindly.
Oh, don't you worry. I understand. All a part of the routine. Now, come, boy. Let's talk shop. So, what can I do for you, detective?
I'm here for inquiries into Wayne Girls' disappearance. I'm sure you're familiar.
Oh, yes. Terrible to have lost their souls. So young and full of potential, yes?
Well, if you could run a certain amount by me, I'd be on my way.
Of course. Do go on.
We'll start simple. Where were you February the 12th?
Oh dear. Now that's a puzzle. Tell you what, old chap. Walk with me to my office.
Unless that's where you were February the 12th. I'm not abiding.
Oh, no, detective. You misunderstand. You see, I left my diary up there. Now, again, if you'd be so kind.
Fucking teachers.
Right. Catch me up on proceedings.
Well, not much to give. Been struggling to make much sense of it. Never mind brass coming down on us like we're the suspects.
Even after all this time?
Yeah. Ain't it a hell's chance with all these witnesses they keep throwing at us?
Well, if I were to be so bold, I believe it was the British sentiment that said, keep calm and carry on. I believe in this case, these words shall resonate with you, detective.
Let me ask you, Professor. How can these people really be called witnesses when the most they can give us is that the victims were quiet for their age?
Perhaps they want to protect them?
Please. If they were concerned about those girls' safety, they'd be at our beck and call with whatever information we need.
Well, detective, that's the thing about it. People assume us quiet folk need to be protected or saved from something. The reality of it is we are at our most deadly when we're backed into a corner. And perhaps they understand that. Wouldn't you say? Don't underestimate my students, Mr. Gibbs. I assure you, I have made that mistake and suffered the consequences for it. Speaking of carrying on,
Green. Green!
Well, I'll be. Even the hard-boiled detectives get scared once in a while. Everything okay, detective? Please. Well, Mr. Gibbs, it would appear that despite all this time, we have made absolutely zero progress in this case.
Yes. Would seem that way.
If I had any sense, I would begin to think that you don't entirely trust me.
Well, even our hard-boiled detectives have our secrets.
That's a bad habit, Mr. Gibbs. Dormant secrets can only linger for so long. Once they surface, all hell breaks loose.
You talking from experience, Professor?
Oh, yes. Yes, Detective. Being a professor lends the unique perspective on viewing all kinds of surfacing secrets, students and staff alike.
You're not one for lecturing, are you, Professor?
You know the most important thing I learned during my, 20 years of service here? It's that every single person, no matter how small, has something to hide. You, me, every single one of my students each have one. And you know the biggest pattern I learned was? These people will do absolutely anything to ensure that these secrets of theirs do not surface. Anything. Perhaps this is the issue you seem to be facing with the witnesses, eh?
You know something, Professor. Having listened to your presentation on ethics the past hour, I've come to a realization, and I hope you don't mind my bluntness in this.
Please, do tell.
These lectures of yours seem to be deflecting the reason why I'm here. No matter what I try and tell you, it turns into a grand statement of society. We came up here to find your diary. A diary, thus far, is nowhere to be seen. But you know what the real kicker was? I never mentioned the girls were murdered. This isn't public information, nor even a deduction we have come to. So tell me, are you fucking with me here? Or are you not telling me something that I really should know?
You've got me, Detective. I am the big mastermind behind the whole case. The author, the influencer behind all of your troubles and woes. Life isn't one of your stories, Detective. I'm sorry to say, but the climax of your story will have to wait. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an appointment with the men's room. If you'll excuse me, that is.
They say that before you die, your life flashes before your eyes. That was a lie. In the moments before my death, I couldn't think of my wife, my daughter, not even my childhood, how little of it there was. No, what I thought about in my final moments was my partner. How right now he was probably at home with his wife, completely ignorant to everything else in the world as they share a moment. I wondered what my death would mean for him. Would he become rage-stricken, depressed, or would it simply not affect him? I think that was the scariest part of all. To think my death would really mean nothing to anyone.